Hello, it's Grandma again. Ready for Grandma's story time? This is Reconciliation Week here in Australia, which means we need to think about our First Nation people. So I've got some books that I thought you might be interested in. The first one is called You and Me, Murrawee. Put on your glasses, Grandma. It's time for us to read this story. You and Me, Murrawee by Kerri, Hashmi and Felicity Marshall. You and Me, Murrawee. Can you see the echidna there? And a butterfly? And I can see someone's feet and their long shadows. We walk this same brown earth, you and me, Murrawee. I can see a First Nations person's feet, and I can see a white girl's feet and their long shadows. Murrawee, what does that mean? Murrawee means elder sister in the language of the Ngarrindjeri people from the Murray River in South Australia. So this story is a bit like a big sister telling the little sister what she used to do. Past the ancient granite rocks, we run down to the slope of the river, hearts beating in time. I follow your bare footsteps. We move the same dust and bend the same grass in our stride. Water is sparkling in the sun as it calls us near. I can see the sparkling in the water and some kangaroos and lots of little budgies. You've made a mudslide down the bank. You sit on it and squeal as you slip with the other children into the cold, clear water. Oh, that looks like fun. Your uncle is fishing upstream and he warns you, don't frighten the fish. Can you see him over there? I can see a kookaburra. He's caught a lizard. And this kookaburra's laughing with the kids. And there am I. I give the slippery dip a miss. I take my shoes off and paddle near the edge. The mud is squidgy between my toes. Look, I can see it squishing. My father calls out for me to watch out for broken glass. Have a look underwater. I can see some fish. And a yabby, and a long-necked turtle like a story we had the other day. Do you think Murrawee saw broken glass? I don't think so. We each pick up a stick and draw pictures in the same patch of river sand. You and me, Murrawee. You draw a kangaroo. Mine is meant to be a horse. We walk along the riverbank, balance our way over the rocks and scratch at the lichen. I follow the footprints of someone's dog. You think you've seen a wallaby spoor. Will you hunt wallaby for tucker? Our fathers are going out in their boats. They leave from the same little launching bay where the riverbank is low. My father has a rowboat and he's teaching my brother how to handle the oars. And look, her father's teaching her brother how to get in and balance in a bark canoe. And have a look at what the girls have been collecting. I can see old butterfly wings. I can see a boat and green tree frogs are playing in it, and some beautiful shells and so many different seed pods. An old bird's nest with broken eggs in it that have been hatched. Some curly leaves, some red gum flowers and a banksia. The little eyes open up in the banksia and make a good place to keep the feathers we've collected. Your father has a canoe. He's taking your brother to show him how to trap fish. We watch both of them from the same spot on the shore, in the shade of the old river red gum. You can see the scars on it where your father cut out his canoe, because his canoe was made from the river gum bark. And look at the girl. She's found some bark and she's used it to make a little canoe. The ducks on the river expect food from campers. They swim up to me and I throw them some bread. Can you see Murrawee? What's she doing over there in the water? You know where their nest is. You swim across into the reeds to collect some eggs, which you give to your mother. You don't take them all. You leave some to turn into babies. She passes you her digging stick and she asks you to gather some of the reed roots too. She will cook them all tonight. We climb up the path of the river, you and me, Murrawee. Can you see the magpies are nesting? They swoop on us and we both run ducking. The river water you are carrying splashes from your coolamong. Why is she carrying water? A cool breeze is picking up and it blows our hair in our faces. It brings the scent of food and the smoke from campfires. Our tummies rumble. I can smell sausages and onions frying. For you, the fish and the eggs and the roots are baking. We share the food with our families. The ants clean up the crumbs and take them back to their nest, just like they've always done. Can you see the fish on the fire? The brothers carried a fish, and there's Murrawee. She's got the coolamon of water. But over on the other page, I'm washing my hands at a tap. And look, you can see the sausages and onions cooking on a gas stove. As we nestle in by the campfires in the dark, your grandmother takes you into her arms and tells you the old stories of the river, its creation, its floods, and its droughts. Can you see her snuggled in there? Do you think the story is about a crow and a snake and some fish? I strain to hear the stories, but they are lost in the winds of time. Instead, I listen with my family to songs on the radio, sung by people who have never seen this river. We lie down in the same hollow in the sand, you and me, Murrawee. The night is cool. You lie between two fires, and I snuggle into my sleeping bag. You hear the bunyip calling from the river. The people in the next tent keep me awake for a while. And look at Murrawee. And look at the girl in the tent, she's reading a book. Wonder what book it is. The moon shines on both our faces. We sleep under the same stars, unchanged yet ever changing, which spark like campfires in the sky. Look, they're both asleep. We breathe the same air, you and me, Murrawee, but we will never meet, for we live 200 years apart. Look, the girl who's fallen asleep was reading a book about Murrawee, who lived there before white man came to Australia. It's a book about the First Nation people. But I can also see the things she's collected. I can see the red gum blossom, the feathers, the seed pods, the old nest with the empty eggshells, and the boat that she made. And look, one of the little green tree frogs even crawled out of her boot. And that's the end of the story. That book was about the rhythms of the day, the things that a girl would do if she lived 200 years ago, or if she went there today. Some things kids do are just the same, but a little bit different. That's all for my story. I've got more coming. Remember to have a look. Goodbye.